Welcome to AllInvoice. This video will help you get started creating clients, projects, workers, and invoices. AllInvoice is built around managing projects that are billed hourly for clients. Let's get started and go to the Clients tab and click Create a Client. Each client has an account balance that is added to when invoices are marked paid and deducted from when work sessions are completed. When setting up a new client, we can enter parameters that will control when work can be done, how we track their utilization rate, and if we want to generate an automatic invoice when their balance reaches a certain level. We'll run through all the fields and what they do and create an example. Name is the client's name. Allowed balance is an optional field that will stop all projects assigned to this client from having further work sessions done. For example, if you set the allowed balance to minus $100, when the balance reaches that amount, no more work would be allowed until a payment had been received and an invoice marked paid. Refill balance is a very important field if you bill based on a client's balance. If you bill on a specific date, you can leave this field blank. For example, if you billed on the 1st of the month, you would not need to use refill balance. The refill balance, when reached, will make this client's utilization rate 100%. It is also the balance, when reached, that will automatically generate a new invoice if you fill in the two fields below. Refill rate and refill quantity are values that will pre-fill into an automated invoice. If you do not want to auto-generate an invoice, these fields can be left blank. You can set the client to active or inactive and add any notes. Let's say, for example, my company offers virtual assistants and my new client, sample client, has hired us to do some work for him. We're billing him up front for 10 hours at $10 an hour, so $100. He'll continue to be billed in $100 increments whenever his balance falls to zero. If he falls in arrears over $200, I want his account to stop working. So the allowed balance will be minus 200. That means if he was behind in $200 below zero, the account would be stopped. The refill balance is zero. We want to bill him when his balance reaches zero. The refill rate is $10 an hour, and the refill quantity is $10. Active, yes. Don't need any notes for this account. Let's submit. Alright, here we can see the sample client's been created. The balance is zero. Refill add is zero. Remaining balance is zero. He's active. Because we set him to receive an automated invoice when his balance reached zero, we've actually already created an invoice for him. You can click on the Invoice tab to see it. So here's the invoice. We can view the invoice as it is, download it as a PDF, send it as an email, edit it, or mark it paid. Let's edit the invoice by clicking on the pencil icon. So here we can see it's an automatic refill. We had a $10 per hour rate, a quantity of 10, and the total is $100. So if we wanted to add another line item, we could enter that here. Another item. If this is going to be a non-hourly item, for example, if we are billing for something that's one-off, or we do not want it to affect the account balance that will be billed out hourly, we can check that. Rate, $100, quantity 1. If you click Save Changes, it will total everything and add another empty line item. If you click Save and Return, it will take us back to the invoice page. So now we can see we have a $200 invoice. If you want to take a look at the invoice, it's unpaid. Here's our account information that we set up when we created the account. No payment so far, and the total. Go back. Now let's pay the invoice. So click the Payment tab. The amount owed will actually show up here. If you've already done this in multiple payments or want to do this in a partial payment, you could do that. Choose the payment method. If you have a transaction ID, you can enter that in. Let's pay $100 of this. So now we can see the amount of the invoice, the amount paid, and the amount remaining. Let's pay the rest of that. So 100. This was PayPal. So submit. Now the invoice is paid. Let's take a look at it. All right, status paid. The information on the line items and the payments. All right. Now that we've paid this client's invoice, we're going to need to create a project. So let's go to Projects and create a project. Now you can select any client. We only have one at this point, so select Sample Client. Name the project. Enter a start date if you want. That's an optional field. Let's set an hourly rate of $10 per hour. The hourly rate, as work sessions are logged, the hourly rate will be used to deduct from the client's balance. Set it to active or inactive, any notes you have, and submit. Now that we've created the project, we'll need to create an employee to work on the project. Click on the Employees tab, click Create an Employee, name the employee. You'll need to enter a valid email address for them. Give them a password. Mark them as active. Select the role. Manager is the top level. That's what we're logged in as now. A supervisor is a slightly lower level, and a worker is someone who basically can log in and start and stop work sessions. So let's create them as a worker. If we need to create a specific time zone for them, we can do that here. If not, it'll use the default firm time zone. And we can enter an IP pattern if you want to restrict where they can log in from. You can do a specific IP address or a range of IP addresses there. So submit the query. Alright, so now we have our worker. That's me. This is the worker we just created. We'll need to go back to the project and assign the worker to the project. So go back in, click on the project, and we will assign test employee. Alright, now you can see that the worker has been assigned. We go back to the client. We can see their project. No time was worked yet, and the assigned employee is there. Now the employee can log in, log work sessions on the project assigned, and the client balance will adjust accordingly. For more detailed information on specific features, please see our other instructional videos for All Invoice. Thank you.